Welcome to ITV. This is your host, Dr. Yavuz Selim Sılay, physician, entrepreneur, and venture architect. I'm really thrilled and excited that we are getting amazing feedback from our viewers across the world. As you know, ITV promised you to bring people from all walks of life. Today, I have a phenomenal guest, a true business leader, a true community builder, an economist, a journalist, you name it. He has so many backgrounds. I have Adnan Akfurat, who is with us today. He is from the Turkish-Chinese Business Association, building amazing bridges between Turkey, China, Africa, and the rest of the world. I'm really thrilled and excited that Adnan Akfurat is with us today. Adnan, I'm really thrilled and excited you joined ITV today. Many thanks. I know you're extremely busy in your schedule, and we truly appreciate your time, because this program will be viewed with more than 900 million people across more than 40 countries. So I know you very well, but for our viewers, can you briefly tell who Adnan Akfurat is? And then we'll go through many discussions across the China, Turkey, and Africa relations.
Good morning. Thank you very much for inviting me to Ntr TV and ITV. I know you, Dr. Yavuz Selim Sılay. You are working very hard and creating good opportunities between the peoples all over the world. So thank you very much, first of all.
Thank you.
I'm from the south part of Turkey. I have grown up in Gaziantep. In 1974, I participated in the American Field Service program, and I studied 1 year in United States as an exchange student. Later, I have graduated from Bosphorus University. I spent different faculties. First, I have studied the engineering, later the political science. Finally, I have graduated from economics. And I work as a journalist for 23 years. In 2004, the first time I have visited China, and the Chinese, the governments, the minister, vice minister of the international relations, he convinced me to take responsibility between Turkey-China relations, because in 2004, the relation between Turkey and China was very limited. So from 2005, we have established the Turkish-Chinese Business Development and Friendship Association. I was the Secretary General when it was established. Later, in 2008, I became the chairman of the Turkish-Chinese Business Association, and we are working related with China about 15 years. Of course, I would like to talk about the China-Africa relation, Turkey-Africa relations, and Africa's relation all over the world, especially after the Mr. Floyd's brutal murderer in the United States. All of the humanity, we have to apologize the African people, because the racism in the United States, actually it starts, the root goes to the 15th century. They have enslaved the millions of the Africans and the black people, and the Africans, unfortunately, they are suffering about more than 500 years. So for the different color of the human being, we have to respect and we have to apologize for these the racist attacks against the African people.
We are all united. We are all one people. When you look at it, Black Lives Matter, and what happened to George Floyd can happen to anybody. And this is not just in the United States, but across the world has huge aftershocks. And clearly, we need to really respect each other just because we're human, nothing else. I mean, we all have differences, but at the end, we need to respect each other and try to work with each other. Dear Adnan, in terms of your development in journalism and graduating from one of the most prestigious universities, Bosphorus University, and really building bridges between China, Turkey, and Africa, can you tell a little bit more about how do you see the current situation in Africa? Is Turkey and China friend or foe? Should they work together and build bridges together in Africa? Do you see an opportunity to really actually help our African brothers and sisters? What's your opinion?
Yes. The first, what's the situation in Africa? Africa is the second biggest continent in the world and the second crowded continent also. So how is the development level of the Africa? Unfortunately, Africa has plenty of natural resources and human resources, but undeveloped. For example, now it has been announced on the 7th of June by the Vice Minister of Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs. China has suspended 77 countries' debt for 4 years. I check which the countries are. Who are these 77 countries? Unfortunately, the majority is from the African countries, especially the sub-Sahara countries, the Central African countries. Actually, we should be ashamed for the human being that why Africa is so poor, why so undeveloped. We can understand in this situation, we need to establish a different kind of relation among the African countries, because the Western attitude to America, to Africa, has created this poor result. So we need to establish a new type of relation with Africa. So in this case, especially the developing countries, like the G20 countries like Turkey, China, India, these countries, they have to behave different from the Western and the American countries toward Africa. In this context, I don't believe the China and Turkey are the competitors or foes in Africa. China is helping Africa to develop. Also, the Turkey has the same attitude. Turkey is not trying to exploit Africa. Turkey established the new program, the partnership program with Africa, and the aim is very concrete, very strict, that the Turkey is trying to develop the African countries, especially for Turkish people, for Turkish Republic. I believe in that we have some responsibilities for African countries. First, about the half of the population are Muslim in Africa, and as the Muslim Brotherhood, we have to help our Muslim brothers there. And the second, they are having the same problems what we are having for development, for independence, for the stability or economic improvement. In this case, that Turkey and China can cooperate and can work together to help African brothers, African countries. This is mutually beneficial cooperation. As you know, that for past 500 years, that one side was earning, the other side was losing. But in 21st century, I believe in that it's not possible. It cannot be go on like that, because also if one side is winning, the other side is losing, also does not have the winning side. We understood that. We saw during this pandemic that the most developed countries, they suffered a lot from this outbreak of the virus. But the developing countries, especially the Asian countries, and the people and the state, they have cooperated and they overcome the virus outbreak, and we are more successful. For example, Turkey and China is the most successful countries in the world to make the normalize and decrease the death rates, and almost the China became the normalized, and we hope that Turkey is going to be normalized in July. So what can we do with Africa? The Africa countries are as I mentioned before, the naturally rich countries, and Turkey is and can act like a manufacturing base in the region. China, of course, having difficulties because of this economic crisis in the world, especially the economic crisis was happening in 2009, and the pandemic has shown up that this economic crisis is very deep. And it affects all over the countries, and especially the China is the starting point of the supply chains all over the world. China has problems. So demand is decreasing because of the European countries. The Western countries are having a very heavy economic crisis. In this case, that the Turkey and China can cooperate to manufacture in Turkey and export to African countries, and so it can help the Chinese supply chain organization can be working. How is the situation in Turkey? The Turkey is the main problem is the unemployment, especially for the educated people. Unemployment is the main problem. So that the Africa is a market. China has the money. Turkey has the skill and the labor. Also the infrastructure for the logistics, and Turkey is much developed. And I'm 100% sure that the Turkish businessman will be more successful than the Chinese businessman in African countries, because we are, especially the historical background, and we know these people better. There is no difference. For example, in Turkey, the black people, they say that we are the more hospital atmosphere in the world is Turkey. That really, there's no any discrimination. There is no any neglecting to the black people in Turkey. Of course,
if you see a black person on the street, people are becoming fans. They are more interested. They want to engage with them. So it is the opposite. There is no institutional racism in Turkey, for sure. Yes.
Yeah, but this is I believe in that the Asian countries, we are not racist. We are against racists. Also, because we have two cultural background. One is we are Asian countries, and for the thousands of years, different ethnic origins, different tribes will live together, and there is no discrimination. It cannot be discriminated in that time. And the second, in the 10th century, Turkish people became Muslim. Also, the Muslim is forbidden to discriminate the people because of the color of the body. So the Turks are most welcome the nation in the world for the different colored people. Also, we from our childrenhood that in the black and white television there was some black actors that they were very friendly, very patient, and we fell in love as the children to black people from when we are 5, 6, 7 years old. So that it affects, that's the result why Turkish people are so friendly to the African people.
That's true.
So for that reason, I believe in that the Turkish businessmen will be more successful in African countries. Of course, that the U.S. or these colonizing countries are not happy that the Turkey is taking initiative in Africa. We can follow up from the Libya. You know that in Libya, Turkey is the only honest country that supporting the United Nations supported the government. All or the other countries they say that the United Nations supported, including the United Nations, they do not support the government, Mr. Sarraj's government, but the Turkey took action and it has changed. Also, Russia has changed their attitude toward Libya because of the Turkey's active deployment in militarily, economically. Also, that it helped the Turkey-Libya relations is beneficial for all the North African countries, including Egypt, Algeria, Morocco, all these the Mediterranean coast African countries will benefit from the Turkey-Libya agreement on the how to develop the rights in the Mediterranean Sea. So the Libya will be a good sorting point between Turkey-Africa relation. I'm sure that the Algeria-Turkey relations are going to be developed. We have good relation with Tunisia. We have only one problem with Egypt. I believe in that the Turkey will solve the problems with Egypt. I believe in that who is governing Egypt is the Egyptian people's problem. It's not our problem. Egyptian people will decide to be governed by which party, which religion, and or which ethnic origin. It's none of our business. So we should be good relations with Egypt, because the relation, becoming more close ally with Egypt will change all the situation in the Mediterranean Sea. Also that if Turkey become more close to Egypt, Egypt will, I believe in that, they will stop supporting the Haftar terrorism in Libya. So if we can establish a good relation with the North African countries, especially these are the post-Ottoman countries, I have been in Algeria and Tunisia in different times. That the in Algeria, I remember the one gentleman from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He came to the airport to pick me up, and his family name was the Karabajak. Actually, he's black, he's Algerian, and he does not speak Turkish, but his family came from Konya, Turkey, and the origin is Turkish. And so he was very friendly, very understanding, and very hospitable while I stay in Algeria. I had the same feeling in Tunisia also. I have visited the monument of the Ibn Haldun, the biggest philosopher of the Islamic world, Arabic world. I was very happy, and so those people who were visiting the monument also they were very happy that the Turkish friend is visiting and respecting Ibn Haldun. So we have the same cultural origin, and this African-Turkey relations, I believe, in the very successful in 21st century, and the Turkish government and the President Erdogan is paying high attention to Turkey-Africa relations, and I believe that it will help Turkey's development and sovereignty to have good relation with Africa.
Dear Adnan, very good coverage. So in terms of, China has a goal, a passion about reviving the Silk Road and trying to bring the wealth of China to the world. And as you mentioned, China has the money and resources. Turkey has the human talent and manufacturing, and China, and with rising value of Africa, there is huge opportunities of synergy. And on the other hand, also Turkey has announced in 2008 African Year, and from that point, Turkey has increased its also humanitarian, support. Like just last year, more than 2,500 water wells have been opened. Nobody is advertising it. At the end, this is a humanitarian mission. Everyone should have access to, water, electricity, basic health, opportunities. So, in terms of Turkish-Chinese Business Association, as an association, what is your vision? How do you think people can reach you? How can they interact with you? And what kind of projects they can engage with you to build Africa? And also, what is the strategy so they can reach and be in contact and build more bridges?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Sulay. What the main responsibility for our association to develop this One Belt, One Road initiative. We believe in that the One Belt, One Road initiative is an initiative has bring the prosperity all over the participants. And the One Belt, One Road initiative does not targeting any countries, and if anyone wants to join One Belt, One Road initiative, they can join, and they can follow, benefit from this cooperation. So actually, that the One Belt, One Road initiative, what China, Mr. Xi Jinping, the chairman of China, has offered, he emphasized that this is not a Chinese project. He said that as the ancient Silk Road, it's a model of the 21st century's the cooperation between the countries and the new model of the developing world. So we are hoping that the African countries will benefit from One Belt, One Road and the initiative. Our association is publishing an quarterly magazine. It's called Belt and Road Initiative Quarterly. It's published in 2 languages, Turkish and English. What we are aiming to bring all the Belt and Road countries and explain how can the Belt and Road Initiative can develop their economies and what is their attitude for the sharing the wealth and sharing the knowledge. For example, the third issue is going to publish in June, the end of the June. We have studied on the financial cooperation between the Belt and Road countries. So I know that the African countries has difficulty to reaching the money, the credits. The most valuable the source in African countries is the money. So, but also that the Belt and Road countries, they have this plenty of money and they want to establish a good channels to use this money to development of the world. So our association can help the African countries, African companies to reach these sources in the Belt and Road countries, especially the Asian Infrastructure Bank and Silk Road Fund, including some the private funds who are willing to invest in African countries or Belt and Road countries. I also want to mention another issue. In these days, of course, that the planes, the airlines are not working. Hopefully, they are going to start the flights. But the Turkish Airlines took an initiative, and Turkish Airlines is flying most of the African cities. Turkey, that the Turkish airline can establish an hub between the east and the west or the middle of the world, so that the new Istanbul airport, actually the infrastructure is developed accordingly, can help and conjunction hub between the African countries and Asian countries and the European countries. After this pandemic, I believe in that the airline cooperation, or we can call a different name, the Silk Aero. Also the airline, that not the roads on the land. Also we need to establish an silk air road all over the world and Silk Road in the air. So also we are now working on that the Turkey-China cooperation on the to establish to air.
Adnan,
I
I want
believe
to
that,
stop here.
yeah.
We will continue after this commercial break. because later we will be having a joint program with TRT World. So I want to give a commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with Adnan Akfırat. Stay tuned to us. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to ITV. I have one of the most prominent business leaders building bridge between China, Turkey, and Africa, Mr. Adnan Akfırat, phenomenal economist, journalist, businessman, diplomat, you name it. He is a phenomenal leader. I'm really thrilled and excited he is with us. Adnan, in the first part, he talked about his background, but mostly focused on, what the achievements and the goals that can be done in China. And I want to actually take a deeper dive into, how can you help each country in Africa, help them to build the countries, because it's all about teaching, rather than giving fish, teaching how to fish and do the fishing, as Buddha says. So my vision is also from Adnan to understand, because he knows all the cultures. He knows American culture, Asian culture, Chinese culture, Turkish culture. Adnan, how do you envision for each country to tackle the problems in Africa? The health infrastructure and other, issues inside Africa. How can Africans unite, and how can Turkey and China help this unification?
I believe in that now the African countries became more aware of how to solve their problem, because for this the why Africa is poor, because of the exploitation that some developed countries, Western developed countries, they make them undeveloped, and they took all the natural resources and they established, like in South Africa. We know that the apartheid has done in South Africa. Now, unfortunately, that the colonization is over in Africa, so that the African peoples became more aware of to depend on their needs, on their food, so that I'm very optimistic about the African countries, especially that the developing countries that I mentioned, that Turkey, China, Indonesia, India, Kazakhstan, these countries are not acting like the Western colonized emperors. That we are friendly to African countries, developing countries. So that these relations are giving more opportunity to African countries to solve their problem. Of course,
Turkish Airlines is a supporter of Ntr TV. So, as a strategy of Turkey, we see, Turkish Airlines, all the business councils. We are hosting many businessmen from each council here who is responsible in Africa with their counterparts. We have Marif educational schools. We have Yunus Emre Institute. On the ground, TİKA is very crucial, because TİKA is across more than 140 countries. So Turkey is using its soft power and its educational, cultural, institutional organizations. And also there are lots of non-government organizations, humanitarian, they go there. There is actually a very nice documentary on TRT, Turkish Radio Television, about how many people, it's called Water Warriors, they go and actually find ways to help people access to water. So clearly there is a sincere interest in helping every country. But how can we expedite this? Because these populations are very young. For example, Niger. I have been to Niger, Africa before. It is, has also very strong cultural ties with Turkey. And, most of the population is very young, and their population will double in the next, 20 years. So while the population is rising and very young, they need support and guidance to be more self-confident, self-sustainable. So how can we really build this with our, colleagues from China? What do you think? What needs to be done further?
Yeah, first, I can give an example. For example, the Algeria. Now, the Algerian government has decided to develop the solar energy in Algeria. Because the Algerian, especially the Algerian, the deserts are the most potential solar systems area. So that the Algerian government made a plan for the 4 years, 2020-2024, to establish 4,000 megawatts, the solar energy systems. And we know that the China made the solar energies very reachable, cheap, that and they have established a huge capacity for the cells, wafers, or the panels, solar panels. Also, they have machinery, the facilities that they build up the materials or the tools for the established the solar systems. It's good that the Algerian government put a condition like Turkey has done before. The contractors who are going to build these solar systems, they have to supply it from the local manufacturers. So it gives a chance to local investors and locally investing the foreign companies to manufacture the tools and apparatus in Algeria. In this case, that Turkey and China can easily cooperate to develop this 4,000 megawatt in Algeria. Of course, this is not limited with Algeria. As you know, that there's an European Union project to all North African countries will develop the solar energy, and the solar energy will carry it by the fiber optic cables under the Mediterranean Sea, so that especially the Germany is willing to buy the North African solar energy. That the market is ready, but because of the turmoils in Libya, in Egypt, this project also that some terrorist activities in Algeria or Tunisia, this project did not go on smoothly. But fortunately, the African countries are uniting and solving the problems, the terrorism and this kind of attacks. And now that the business time, the economy is developing more, especially in Algeria. Hopefully we see that then we are very optimistic about Libya, that Libya is going to be united and the terrorists will be defeated from the Libya. And the Libyan oil, you know that the Libyan oil is the most valuable oil in the world. And the countries who are rich oil reserves, they don't want the Libya oil put into the market, so that they are supporting this war in terrorist attacks in Libya, because in this case that the Libyan oil will be not sold. So that I'm sure that the Libyan government will get the control and make the peace in the country, and the Libyan oil will be marketed in the all over the world, and especially the Europe is demanding the Libyan oil. It will become more the equal prosperity, the Libyan people. I hope that it's going to happen. When the Libya,
Understand from what you're
Algeria,
saying is
Morocco,
after COVID-19, with the new world and a new horizon, many of our priorities has changed, and now it's time for business, it's time for prosperity, it's time for working together and building and taking the current potential of Algeria project by project, with solar energy projects, with healthcare projects, with other energy projects and educational projects. So it will be a project by project initiative to build Africa. Is that correct?
yes, correct. Also, that I want to mention, as you mentioned, the Turkish Airlines giving a good service to African people, and the Turkish airline is uniting the African people with the world. The other important cooperation between African and Turkey countries is the defense industry. Also, that the Western imperialist countries, they create the conflict in African countries and they're selling the weapons. They create the conflict and they sell the weapons. Of course, that it's hopefully that is the terrorism all over the terrorist organizations, because of the influence of the Western world is diminished, so that the terrorists the activities is diminished. We know from the Syria, from Turkey, so that also the African countries, they need to develop their defense industry. And Turkey made a great success in defense industry, especially in the past 20 years. And what's the advantage of Turkey, the Turkish defense industry, is the technology is up top. Also, the price is reasonably reachable if you compare with the American or European. So that it's beneficial for African countries to cooperate with Turkey. And also, Turkey is not willing to be dependency relations. Turkey is willing to share the technology. If these African countries, they want to develop their defense industry, and the Turkish companies are ready to share the technology and make some the cooperation. Some parts can be manufactured in Turkey, it can be assembled in Africa, and this kind of cooperation is on the way. And also for the defense industry, we are, as the Turkish-Chinese Business Development Association, we are helping Turkish defense industry to have good relations with China. China has the same understanding, the sharing the technology, not the benefiting only one side, so that the Africa, Turkey, China, they can come together like the country by country, let's say Algeria or Egypt, Turkey, China cooperation will be more beneficial for all three sides. Not only for the Egypt, not only for Turkey, not only for China. These two, Turkey and China cooperation, will help the African countries to benefit more. In this case, they will be more safe, and Turkey, as a developed country, if you compare with the African countries, we can also protect the African countries, and of course that we can learn. The African countries also can teach us in some cases. So we are hoping to work with the African brothers to develop these kind of relations. And third, the sector I want to mention is the health industry. Actually, it's your expertized industry, the health. And the Africa is especially suffering from the health, the problems and the people's health problems. So that the Turkey show that the Turkish health industry, the health administration is strong, and our doctors are like heroes. They defend the people and they stop the virus. Of course, we have to remember that the big doctors that they pass away while they are struggling with this virus. But the Turkish health staff, the doctors, nurse, and they made an heroic struggle, so that we have learned a lot. Also, that the Turkish health medical industry has made a great success during this period, like that the ventilation machines that the Turkey now exporting all over the world, that when the outbreak came up, everyone was having this problem. And also the medicine, Turkey is developing the medicine industry, and I think in this aspect, Turkey and Africa can cooperate, and we can get the support from China. Yes.
Excellent, Adnan. Thank you very much. I want to wrap here now. I want to thank you for your time, because we are moving right to Turkish Radio Television World program. Adnan Akfırat, it was an amazing opportunity to have our viewers get to know you better. I want to thank you, and we look forward to hosting you again at Ntr TV. Thank you very much. I wish you the best. Take care, dear Adnan. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hope to see you again.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to see you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, I had Adnan Akfırat, who is the Turkish-Chinese Business Association president, and he actually talked about how in Africa things can be done together to build Africa and make it stronger. Also, the reviving the Silk Road initiative and the opportunities that will arise in health, energy, and defense to build our African brothers and sisters. This is Dr. Yavuz Selim Sılay, physician, entrepreneur, and venture architect. I look forward to meeting you in our next ITV show. Take care and all the best. Bye.